So I helped my mother to monetize a faceless YouTube channel with literally 3 videos. As we can see here, 1, 2, 3, and here we then got monetized and started making money. Now I'm probably one of the only people who helped their mother to start a faceless YouTube channel. And in this video, I'll show you guys exactly how you can do the exact thing as well. I'll literally break down everything for you guys if we have a look at this massive video plan for you guys. So put a lot of time and effort into this. So make sure to watch this whole video. Now, for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Stefan, 24 years old, and currently make between $30,000 and $40,000 a month, constantly building new channels, as we can see here. Guys, Q4 is around the corner, so we are building. Then I've made $42,000 with just 2 videos that I've posted, as we can see right here. I took a channel from literally $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days. You guys can pause the video and look at the dates and all of these things if you want to. And then I didn't help just my mum, but I helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. For example, here Martin, so we've helped to scale up to $31,000 in a single month. Here student $25,000 in a single week. Here student doing €171 a day. Here student going from $200 to $400 a day. Here's student $12,000 in a single month. Here one $24,000 in a single month, and many, many more. Now, guys, if you are interested and you kind of want the exact same help and the exact same result, then check out the first link in the video description. Go ahead and book a call with me right now, and we'll have a look, if it makes sense to work one-on-one together. And with that being said, I would say let's get started. So first of all, we're going to look at the account and the trust score. This is the thing that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people actually ask me. How do you actually set up a YouTube account? So something we first have to look at is, you guys have to understand that they are different kind of YouTube accounts, all right? So we have brand new accounts, we have aged accounts, we have personal accounts, and then we have pre-monetized accounts. Now, a brand new account is self-explanatory. Aged account is just a very old account, like from 2025 and older, like up to 2006. There we have it. And then we have a personal account, which is a YouTube account that you personally use to watch YouTube, and a pre-monetized account which already has 1,000 subscribers and has 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, if you want to start a channel, what account would I recommend you to actually start with? I would recommend you guys to absolutely not start with a pre-monetized account. Even if it sounds the best, I do not recommend that, only for trendy niches, okay? Now, if you have a personal account, like an account where you watch videos privately, I would highly recommend you to actually go with a personal account, okay? If not, then go with a brand new account or a aged account. Now, very important to note is that account age does not matter at all right? Accounts from 2000, or what means matter at all, but accounts from 2006 aren't any stronger than a newer one. Anything before 2025 works about the same. Please don't overpay for aged just because of the year, okay? Please don't do that. If you're going to buy aged accounts, don't buy 2006 accounts just because of the year, okay? 2025 accounts work the exact same way. All right. Now, we want to protect our channels from day one, which is one of the most important things. And this is something not many people speak about, but we do that, So we want to use different email addresses for every single account that we run. We do not want our accounts to be connected to one another. Then we want different AdSense accounts. For the people who are always asking, this is something you can do with an LLC, all right? So every single LLC is basically their own person, and every person can just have one AdSense account. And if you have an LLC, you can have, for example, 2 AdSense accounts, one in your name and one in the LLC name. There's nothing illegal about that or anything like that. You are open to do that, okay? Now, what I would also recommend is different browsers and different Chrome profiles. Now, you do not need any proxies, anti-detect, or anything like that. It's largely a myth for trust purposes, okay? So don't waste a bunch of money on these kind of things. Then you need to warm up your account. Now, I always say, like, warming up your account isn't going to make the most insane thing for you, but we want to do everything in our power to actually make sure that an account works very well. Now, we warm up our accounts to increase our trust score. Trust score is, in very simple words, how much does the platform actually trust our channel? Now, this we will see in the impressions all right, that we will get. So how many people YouTube actually almost immediately shows our videos to? What means immediately? But in the first like 24 hours, you can usually see, is my account good or is it not good, right? And you see that from your impressions, and then from your like you get impressions of your trust score is good. Okay, then what accounts actually need to be warmed up? So we want to warm up brand new accounts, and we want to warm up aged accounts. Now, how do you actually warm up your account? You use it as a normal user. You watch 1 to 2 hours of content per day on that account. You subscribe, comment, and like to different kind of YouTube videos. But very important is that you do not act as a bot, because if you're going to act like a bot, YouTube is, it's going to flag it. We do not want to act as a bot, right? That's the exact account that YouTube kind of tries to avoid. So don't act like a bot. Just act like a human, and then do this for 1 week plus to lower the risk of a low trust score. Okay. Now, very important is, always have 1 to 2 channels warmed up and ready to go, because once we actually, find a niche, and once we get into the game, we really need speed, right? So we don't want to find a niche and then only set up the account, warm up the account, all of these things. Then we need speed. Okay. And we'll get deep into that in a second. Now, how to test if an account is actually good? So it's super easy. We record a 3 to 4 minute phone video, just a walk, a drive, a room tour. The content really doesn't matter. And you can, no joke, film like the most random stuff. Then you log into the fresh account, so either like a new account or even a purchased account, and upload that video to that account. And you check the impressions like 24 hours later. 0 to 50 impressions is a dead account, and I would not use it, all right? And by the way, this here happens more often than most people think, okay? If you have 200 to 400 impressions, it's usable and it's good enough, but not the best. And if you have 1,000+ impressions, that's usually a very high trust score channel and ready to post your content on that channel basically immediately. Okay, so you don't need to wait. Once you see like after 24 hours, hey, the account is actually getting impressions, like just start posting. If you want a separate video on this specific topic, let me know. I will do that for you. Okay, so now that you have your YouTube account ready and you have an account that YouTube actually trusts, the next problem is the niche you're going to put into it. And this is actually where most people go wrong. Okay, because I always say like a good account is not going to save you if you have a bad niche. Okay, so let's actually have a look at niche research, my favorite topic. All right. I always say the work you put into before even starting your channel is going to determine if your channel wins or fails. Now, what many people do is they jump into the most random niches out there, like for example, health, like just niches they randomly think about, they randomly think it's going to be good or a good one. They just jump in that niche. Okay, so like for example, health or motivation or luxury is also something we see very often, or even finance. Everyone always wants to go into finance because of the high RPM. Okay, now guys, YouTube has supply and demand, right? And we'll go deep into that in a second, but you have to keep in mind, right? The niches you can just think about are usually niches that everyone can think about, and everyone will post videos inside there. So we do not want to do that. We do not want to do that. So we do not want to make the mistake and randomly jump into a niche. Okay. Now, there's a specific mindset I want you guys to adopt when we are doing niche research, and that is to understand that niches are just opportunities and we have to look for them. All right. Now, don't overthink and try to find the perfect niche. I'll tell you in a second how a good niche looks like, but really don't try to find the perfect niche, because finding the perfect niche is actually something that is going to take you forever. It's going to take you forever. And in the end of the day, like the faster we can actually get started in posting videos, obviously in a decent or pretty good niche, the better it's going to be. But we don't want to look for the perfect niche. It's going to take forever. Okay. Then it will take time to find a good niche. This is where consistency comes in. Okay. It will take time. You will not find a good niche in like 30 minutes of scrolling on YouTube. That's very unlikely, especially a good one, right? Sometimes you'll be lucky and you'll find something very quickly, but in most cases, you will not find a niche in like 30 minutes. And I always recommend, go ahead and do some niche research, like for like 2 hours, 1 hour a day. Okay. keep in mind, this is what we all have to do to actually succeed on YouTube. We have to go through that process, okay? And the more serious you're going to take this process, the easier YouTube is going to be for you, okay? Now, as I said, give it time and do not rush the process. If you're going to rush, you're going to do it twice. I always say that, okay? Then treat this like a business, not like a random YouTube channel. This is another big thing, right? Treat it like a business. Like, imagine you would actually go ahead and you would buy a restaurant. You won't just, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a restaurant without actually researching on it. And that's exactly the same mindset I want you to have when it comes to actually looking for faceless niches. Okay, take time and do not rush it, and treat this like a business. Now, something you guys need to know is that about supply and demand. This is probably the most important, part when it comes to YouTube automation. And that is essentially seeing YouTube like a marketplace. Okay, YouTube is a marketplace of videos. And I know this sounds weird because most people think like, hey, okay, YouTube is just this platform of a bunch of videos. But in the end of the day, all these videos are competing against each other. It is a marketplace of videos. All right. And just like any other market, YouTube has supply and it has demand. And this is something that 99% of people don't know. And it took me super long to figure this out. By the way, I've been doing YouTube since I was 12. 24 now. So it took me around about 4 years to monetize my first YouTube channel, which is forever, right? Now, what does supply and demand actually mean? So demand is what the audience actually wants to watch, and supply is how much content is there already. And our goal is to find a gap between these two and to actually go ahead and fill that gap. Now, what normal YouTubers do, and this is what I did for years and years from the age of 12 to 18, where then I actually saw like, hey, faceless YouTube automation is way cooler and way easier. But what normally YouTubers do, like personal brand YouTubers, they take years to build their personal brands, spend years building a connection with their audience, and it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of time and hard work to build demand around them. Now, luckily with YouTube automation, we actually skip this whole process. Instead, what we do is we find a topic or a niche that has a lot of demand, but no supply, okay? And then we just fill that kind of gap. We fill that gap, right? That's how easy it is. So we find a topic that has a lot of people want to see it, but nobody's posting videos about that, all right? Then, how does a topic how does a niche like that actually look like from the outside? What kind of metrics do we see with those niches? Now, number one, there are under 5 smaller channels creating content in this niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply, which again, as I've mentioned now 100 times, this is one of the most important things when it comes to YouTube automation. There are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. If there are a bunch of channels with over 100,000 subscribers, like YouTube is not going to randomly start trusting your channel more with their audience than a channel with 100,000 subscribers, because YouTube already knows that the people like the content from this big channel. So they will always go ahead and push this big channel over your channel. The niche is not, there are no smaller channels failing. Super important, because if there are a bunch of smaller channels failing, why should your channel succeed? The niche is not older than 6 months. Super important, all right? Because in most cases, if the niche is older than 6 months, we have a bunch of small channels failing and a bunch of channels with over 100,000 subscribers. I can create better videos than my competitors. This can also just be longer, and we'll get into that a bit later. Like how exactly your videos should look like, all of these things. Then I'm actually interested in this niche, not a must as long as you build a team that actually has interest in that niche. Is the niche monetizable? Super important, otherwise you're not going to make any money. I'll show you in a second how you can actually see that. Then huge bonus if you can actually post long videos, because then you have a higher RPM, which means you make more money per 1,000 views. Now, very important is that this does not need to be 1,000% with all of the niches you find, okay? If you're going to get this 100% or 1,000%, that's where you blow up channels, exactly like I did with this one. All right, so you don't need to have it 1,000%. Okay, very important. Now, tools I would highly recommend for niche research on NextLive. It's like 13 euros a month. Link it in the video description. And vidIQ, the free plan is enough. I'll also link it in the video description. Now, how do we actually do niche research? We actually use a dummy account. Okay, This is basically an YouTube account that we only use for niche research. The YouTube homepage changed for our advantage, and YouTube got extremely good at predicting what we want to watch. And this is crazy, right? Because we can use this to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us faceless niches on our YouTube home tab, okay? Now, instead of me explaining all of this, let me show you how you can set it up. Because once a dummy account is actually set up, you can, no joke, find endless niches with it. And if you guys look at my niche research videos on this channel, like all of these niches are found from the dummy account, all right? So this is actually here my dummy account, as we can see right here, niche research, and just called it niche research. I have multiple ones of these, so I always recommend creating like a few of them. Easier to do niche research, okay? Or kind of faster, all right? Now, if we look at this channel, we can scroll down and we only see faceless channels all over my YouTube homepage. Now, how do we set up an account like this? It's actually super easy, okay? We just imagine you created a brand new YouTube account now and you just signed in and your YouTube homepage is completely empty. What you're gonna do now is you're actually gonna look up anything that you are interested in. For me, I really don't mind what we post videos about because I don't create the videos myself. So, right? So I really don't mind. So for me, I'm just going to look up the biggest houses. You can do that as well if you don't care what content you're going to post. Then I'm actually going to click on that video. Let this video play for a little bit. And while this video is playing, I can already go here to the sidebar and click on the next video. All right. Now, what is very important is that you only click on faceless videos. You don't want to click on a bunch of, like here, like for example, this one or this one where people actually show their face. We only want to click on faceless videos. So here, 30 unbelievable facts about Namibia. I actually come from Namibia. So for the people who don't know, you never knew. So cool channel. They're covering my country. So yeah, let's go on. Let me see. Let's click on one more and then we'll actually already go back to the YouTube homepage. So this channel is these days showing their face, but actually a faceless channel, all right? Now, after we've done this for a while, and I would recommend you guys to do it longer than what I've done it now, then we can actually go back to our YouTube homepage. And as we can see, faceless video, faceless video, faceless, 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 faceless. Okay, this one is not faceless. So we can already see that there are a bunch of faceless videos on our YouTube homepage, all right? Now, once you have all of that set, I would recommend you guys to get NextLev because with NextLev, okay, we can now see the analytics. Let's say, for example, we want to go into this niche. We can then, with NextLev, actually see like, okay, what's the RPM of this channel? We can see all of these things, which are always going to be super interesting for us to know because we do not want to go into a niche where we can't even make enough money to be happy with that, all right? So while this is loading up, let me actually show you one other thing you can do. Okay, $5 RPM. So we can see this channel is making roughly $5,700 a month. And then you just have to decide like, am I happy with that or not? Okay. Not only that, you can actually go here to your YouTube homepage, scroll down on your YouTube homepage, kind of load up the page, then go here to filters and filter it here to like subscribers versus view count. So it will kind of filter small channels to the top. Like for example, this one, 600 subscribers, 70,000 views. Click on it, and here we can see the channel. All right. So now you guys know exactly how to set up a dummy account and how to use a dummy account. All right. Trust me, this kind of method to do niche research is legendary. Okay. Now the next thing we need to look at is the video topic. Okay. And I always say, there are few things when it comes to going viral on YouTube, okay? So there's the niche, which is very important. Like these few things that I'm going to name now are all more important than the video quality. So the niche, then the video topic, and then the packaging. The video quality comes last, all right? Too many people always worry too much about the video quality. Video quality comes last because if we don't have these three things kind of locked in, nobody's going to click on your video, on our video, okay? By the way, before I go on here, if you guys need any help, if you don't want to go the trial and error way, and just like here, Luke as an example, who we took from doing literally zero to $14,000 in like 2 months or something, then check out the first link in the video description, book your call with me, and let's have a look if it makes sense to work together. Okay. Now, so you can have the perfect niche, but if your video topics suck, your views are going to absolutely suck. So if we look at these two examples here, okay, this kind of niche was absolutely crushing it, okay? And this channel here got 2.5 million views in a month on this video. And this video here got only 200 views. Why did that happen? Because these guys copied the video one-on-one. They literally put zero effort in actually doing something different, okay? They did zero effort with it. At least they kind of looked for outliers, but they copied it one-on-one. That's not going to work, okay? So this video here, 200 views. And yeah, let's go deeper into that. You guys will love this. So most people go ahead and copy other videos one-on-one. Like I said, that's just not going to work because supply and demand is not just important in your niche, but also in the video topics you choose. So you have to keep in mind that hundreds of people are going to copy this video exactly one-on-one. So here again, supply and demand, there's way too much supply for the demand, especially if you consider YouTube is always going to push the video to the hardcore fans of that niche first. Okay, and if they have already seen this video right here, then they're not going to click on this video here. Okay. Now, how do you actually go ahead and find demand on YouTube? You look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels, look for recent trending formats, and most importantly, do not copy the most important videos from competitors. This is what everyone does and your videos will fail. I promise you that your videos will fail, okay? Now, how do you actually go ahead and find supply? You use your YouTube search bar and look for how many people have created the exact same video. If it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, look for a different topic, okay? YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen the video multiple times, they do not have a single reason to click on your video, except if it follows a different angle. And I'll show you guys in a second how that would look like. Now, how does a perfect video topic look like? A perfect video topic actually resonates with your audience. So ask yourself, do they even want to watch this video? All right. Some topics sound super interesting, but are super boring. So make sure your topic is actually not boring and, not maybe just interesting for 1 minute or something. Then your topic has to be posted on time, especially if it's a trend. So I've seen so many people already, there's just as an example, there are people now that start to post about Andrew Tate and them just being arrested. Guys, that was like 3 or something weeks ago. I don't know. I don't follow that, but that's been super long time ago, right? Now, you have to be on time if you're going to go into trends. Repeat what has done well in the past. I'll tell you guys more on this later. I have some special story for you. You need to leverage negativity because humans respond better to negative things. If you look at all of the kind of news headlines and all of these things, always negativity, okay? Now, we want to use the topic transfer method. This is kind of one of the strongest ways to create new topics. As I said, this is by far the most powerful way to choose video topics. What you essentially do is you find winning topics in other niches and move them over to your niche. This can work insanely well if done correctly. Now, here's some example where it worked really well. So if we look at here just as an example, this channel here, why you wouldn't last 24 hours in Stone Age, why you wouldn't last 24 hours in medieval times. This video got 2.7 million views. I promise you, you can look it up. There are probably hundreds of channels that did exactly this topic and they all failed. This channel here just went ahead and did the exact same video for different kind of people, okay? Same thing here. Here we can see this video, 2.5 million views, did very well. And this guy here, 50,000 views on a brand new account, video actually blowing up. And the biggest difference is this guy has a dog. So he's now speaking to a totally different audience. Okay, so you do not want to copy one-on-one. You rather want to move video topics to different spaces. All right, this is exactly what we did with Scott, who went from literally getting 50 views a video to almost giving up to like $200 days on his channel within like a week. I have an interview with him on this channel, so if you guys want, just check that out. You will find it somewhere on my channel. Very valuable. It's like a 40-minute video. Okay, now All right. So let me actually quickly explain here about the, what's it called here, on the doubling down. All right. So I just need to go back here and I want to show you, just have to find it. But what we essentially did, all right. So here we have Andre. Now with Andre, we did something very special. So we started working together in October. And what we did is we very quickly found something that was working on his channel. And we, no joke, just did the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again and spread that over multiple channels. And we scaled him to $30,000 a month in 4 months. And people tell me that you cannot do one video twice. I mean, have a look at my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel that I'm speaking on right here. Okay. Like, we want to double down on what is working. All right. Now, the next thing, is obviously the content creation team. So you have 3 options when it comes to kind of approaching content creation. You can either do it yourself, you can do it the hybrid method, or you can even fully outsource it. Now, if you do it yourself, the advantages are that they basically no cost, 100% profit margin, you learn new skills, you have full control over the process. And the disadvantages are it's not very scalable, it's extremely time consuming, learning takes a bunch of time, and without you, you don't make any money because then no videos get created. Now, then we have the hybrid method. This is actually where you and freelancers work together to create one video. Now, the advantages of this is it is low cost. You do what you enjoy. You have more control. And the disadvantages are this is only partially scalable, still time consuming. Some capital is required because in the end of the day, you have to pay the freelancer. And then without you, you still have an income. And then we have fully outsourced. For this, I would always say like you'll need like $300 to $500 a month. If you have this, you're already at a pretty good starting point when it comes to fully outsourcing. Now, if you fully outsource, the team of freelancers actually does everything for you. Now, the advantages are it's not very time consuming, extremely scalable, still over 80% profit margin, still have time freedom. You work with experienced freelancers, and without you, you still have an income because you don't create the videos anymore. The disadvantages are this actually requires some capital, as I have already explained to you guys here. Now, where do you actually hire the freelancers? So for a thumbnail designer, we hire the thumbnail designers on X. All right. On X, you'll kind of find the best thumbnail designers out there. They are, though, more expensive. Okay. On Fiverr, on Upwork, on YT Jobs, and on onlinejobs.ph. Now, very important, and I see so many people messing this up when it comes to thumbnail designers. Guys, you cannot expect your thumbnail designer to do the research for you, especially if you pay him like $10 or something. All right. So when you hire a thumbnail designer, you have to be extremely clear what kind of thumbnail you want him to create. Tell him exactly how you want the thumbnail to look like. That is going to be very important. Trust me, you will get better thumbnails from him. All right. Then for the scriptwriter, we can find them on Upwork, YT Jobs, or onlinejobs.ph, or just use AI. We use AI for the for the script writing all the time. Like, it's just the fastest way, and you have to keep in mind that in the end of the day, when it comes to YouTube automation these days, we need speed. We need speed. All right. That's why we use AI. Same thing for the thumbnail, by the way. You can use AI for thumbnails as well. ChatGPT is super good at creating thumbnails. Okay. For the voiceover artist, we can use Fiverr or even 11 Labs. That's completely up to you. I would, though, recommend AI voiceovers again because we need speed. For the video editor, Upwork, YT Jobs, X kind of has the best ones. Onlinejobs.ph, again, X is going to be more expensive. These ones are going to be more budget friendly. Then for channel managers, guys, you don't need any channel managers until you run at least like 4 something channels. Okay. Now for channel managers, you can actually look inside your friend group. So ask your friends like, hey, would you be interested in running this? You can look on Upwork, YT Jobs, or even look in your freelancer group. That is usually my favorite thing to do, to use one of my most accountable freelancers to be my channel managers. Or even on onlinejobs.ph, you can hire like a VA or something and use that specific person as a channel manager. Now, the most commonly used payment methods are bank transfer, Wise, PayPal, or Remitly. Very important is always ask your freelancers what kind of payment processor they use so you can actually make sure that you can pay them, all right? Next up is our niche testing framework. So I follow this exact process with every single niche we go into to avoid spending money on videos that will never work. Guys, there are some YouTubers out there, all right, that say just post consistently, just post good videos consistently and you'll start making money. That is BS, all right? We do not want to do that. Obviously, we need to post consistently, but if you're not getting any views, you should notice very early if something is wrong. And this exact framework shows us exactly that, okay? So first thing we do is obviously niche research, then we choose an account. You guys already know what kind of account is what. Then we need up to 15 video topics, all right? I wouldn't do less, but 15 video topics, okay? Good video topics. So go back and watch that again because we actually need good video topics. Now, what we're going to do then is we're actually going to write the script with AI. So it can be ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you want to use, just use that, okay? VoiceOver 11 Labs, AI voiceover, video editors, so a freelancer. We are going to look for the cheapest possible freelancer. Doesn't matter if the videos are like extreme, not that good or not, okay? We just want to test our niche. As I've already said in the beginning, like if the niche is good, you will get views if the videos are good or not, okay? So aim for like, let's say $15 to $30 a video, okay? Then a thumbnail designer. You know, I either use a freelancer or you can use ChatGPT or you can do it yourself, okay? Completely up to you as long as your thumbnails are actually good. When it comes to the video length, we want our videos to be 1.5 times longer than our competitive videos. Very simple. We want to have every single unfair advantage over our competitors that we can have. Every single unfair advantage, like just bring it. We need it, all right? We need it. So you have to keep in mind that YouTube is actually gonna kind of push the video the most that keeps the viewer on YouTube for the longest period of time. Why? Because that's gonna make YouTube the most amount of money, okay? Then for your thumbnail and your title, you need to make sure that you actually go ahead and research this, okay? Don't just use any thumbnail or title because you think it looks good. It has to be something that has been proven to work, okay? Now what we're gonna do then is actually we're gonna post. Okay, post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post, until we have all 15 videos completed. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Just imagine this is kind of your YouTube graph, okay? So either the channel is actually going to pick up and you're actually going to get views, right? Now, you need to post all 15 videos. I don't even want to hear anything about I'm not getting views if you didn't post 15 videos at least, okay? Now, once you did that and you actually got views, that's the point where you can that's a point where you can continue to post videos, okay? And consistently. By this point, you should almost be monetized already, okay? Now, if you do not get any views and it completely flatlines, you do not go ahead and you post more videos. 15 videos is the max, all right? Any good niche should blow up within 15 videos, okay? Now, the reasons why a channel might fail is because of your niche, because of your video topics, your packaging, your video length, or bad channel. Go back, right? And I need you guys to nail this if you want a channel to explode, okay? Now, if the channel does not succeed, firstly, I want you guys to check all of these things and try to understand why did my channel not succeed? That is the most important thing. You need to learn from your mistakes. Okay, you need to learn from what you are doing wrong. Then once you learned, you go back to niche research and you go through this whole process again and again and again until you actually have something that works. Trust me. This is the easiest way to learn as fast as possible when it comes to YouTube and to get something to work as fast as just possible. All right? Now we probably come to everyone's favorite part, how to actually make money from YouTube. Now, firstly, we have the YouTube Partnership Program. This is by far the easiest way to monetize your faceless YouTube channels because YouTube pays you directly for the views you get, okay? Now, for that, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, I know that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time sounds a lot, But the people we work with get to this point in, like, on average 3 to 6 weeks. And I just had someone do it again yesterday, as we can see here. Let me have a look. So across after six weeks, we we crossed the magic number of 1,000 subscribers and couldn't be happier. Okay, if we look here, just want to show you some more. Here again, Chewy, 16 days. All right, to get monetized, his stamp like 2 weeks or something. Antonin, 20 days. 5 weeks. Let me have a look. 2 channels monetized in 7 weeks. 3,000 subscribers and monetized in a month. And second channel monetized, another one monetized, 1,000 subscribers in 9 days. First month, first channel monetized. So it really doesn't take that long if you have the right niche from the start. Okay. Now, how much can you actually earn from your YouTube channel? So we have a CPM, which is cost per 1,000 views. So that is how much do advertisers actually pay per every 1,000 views or impressions on their ad. And then we have RPM, which is revenue per 1,000 views, how much you actually earn for every 1,000 views on your video. Now, if you have a $5 RPM, and you get, let's say, 1,000 views, you get paid $5. If you get 10 million views, you get paid $50,000. Now, all we need to make 10K a month with YouTube is 2 million views. Now, ask yourself, how difficult is it to get 2 million views on a video topic that people are already interested in? Okay, but here's again the thing. We need to find a topic that people are actually interested in. So, and that takes time, right? And that's why I would highly recommend you guys to watch this video multiple times so you understand the process of niche research, choosing video topics, all of these things. Trust me, okay? The video is long. You can see now it's like 36 minutes until now. So a lot of information. So I'd highly recommend you to watch this again. Now, how do you actually increase your RPM? We turn on alcohol and gambling ads, create videos longer than 15 minutes, and we place ads every 10 seconds using Next Level, okay? And then what we also have are brand deals. So as your channel grows, brands will actually start reaching out to you to promote their products. You need to negotiate with these brands and try to get a minimum of 5x your RPM per 1,000 views. The higher the amount you can actually negotiate, the better, obviously. Now, be careful though, because they are a bunch of fake brands that will reach out. So do not just click on any random links they send you, and do not randomly download documents they send. Okay, I had to learn this the hard way when I was like 17 or something. My personal brand got hacked because I downloaded random documents from fake brands. Okay. The next thing is selling digital products. This is actually something many of my students do because it's so easy. So we can sell like ebooks, we can sell educational products like here, digital tools, memberships, anything. And you can host it on Teachable, Gumroad, Patreon, or even Kajabi. We actually did this with Marvin, who maybe some of you guys saw the interview already. He went from literally zero or like a failed channel, doing $50 a month to $10,000 a month in 4 months, and made over 200,000 euros in profit in the first 8 months of last year, just kind of referencing back to the interview. So if you haven't seen this yet, have a look, check it out. Like, it's super good, super valuable. Yes. So now, guys, now we are through with the whole video. Let me know if you have any questions. I really tried to make this as in detail as just possible so everyone can just get started with their faceless YouTube channels. And again, guys, if you are interested in working close with me, maybe getting the same results as, many of our students are getting, like here, for example, monetized, then here, $18,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $8,000 a month, and on and on and on, then go to the first link in the video description, book a call with me, and let's see if it makes sense to work together or not. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.